With Doug Lane, who heads up the North Canton Chamber of Commerce. How long have you been doing that now?
5 years last month.
Okay. Well, this was a pretty a crafty event tonight, schools, and you had business from the Chamber of Commerce standpoint.
Absolutely.
And, of course, you had government again with the city. Pleased with the turnout?
Oh, very nice turnout. It's one of the I guess the more diverse turnouts we've had. A lot of times you'll end up with city officials and some workers from the city and maybe a few folks from the public. Tonight it was a really nice mix of public attendance, some people interested in the schools, a few of our board members, some of the school board members, some businesses that were represented here, and some average citizens. And I think they came away from here very excited. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and sometimes it goes under the radar. We're not a real city that brags a lot. We like to show up the results and have that happen and speak for it. So sometimes you got to get out there and remind them all that's going on. And that's what the purpose of tonight was.
From a business perspective, what do you think is the most exciting thing going on in North Canton right now?
That is a tough one because you do have the Hoover District and all that's going to be happening there. But because of that, you've got other happenings going up and down Main Street. You've got the possibilities at Waterside Center. Washington Square is 100% leased. You have so much happening on the campus here at Walsh that's going to connect with the rest of the community and all the other things that are going on. It's very hard to say one thing. And so I guess if I could talk in terms of cooperation, having the city, the schools, and the chamber all working towards the one goal of advancing the community is probably the most exciting thing that I could say without going into specifics.
Now, one thing that you did here tonight, both from the schools and from the city, is revenue problems.
Exactly.
Schools, 16, 17, looking $6 million deficit. They don't have new revenues. Cities on a very tight budget. I understand that if the state's successful in passing bill, I think it's Senate Bill 5, which has to do with the state collecting.
Right, it makes it all uniform across the state.
And it's, Councilman Snyder tells me it could cost North Canton $400,000.
Very, very possible. That's the figure I've heard as well.
It looks like the timing's going to be pretty close between the city and the schools. Is that something that's doable in North Canton, you think?
Well, we've faced these kind of things in the past, and we've come out ahead. So I'm going to have to say it's doable if we do the right things. Okay. And a lot of that falls on a combination of what we do in the chamber from the business and economic standpoint and bringing in new jobs, but also from the community standpoint, making this a place that somebody wants to live. And so if we do the right things and we do all work together collaboratively on this, I think we can come through it.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of positive. What is your biggest concern for the future of North Canton?
Oh boy, if I were to point to one, I think it is probably a lack of understanding of all of this amongst the population. A lot of folks work in Akron, a lot of folks work in Jackson, a lot of folks work in Canton, so this is their community, but they're not as connected as I wish they were, because if they could get behind a lot of this and understand better what's happening in the future and where things are going, I think that would give some more impetus and some more energy, and also maybe get some more people to run for office and get some more people to get involved in the non-elected positions, or things like school board or some of the planning commission, the zoning board, all of that, because we are on this thing together. And again, if they understand that, I think that's probably where we. So if I did have a concern, it's that we don't have an engaged population. Like it would have been great to have 300 people in this room. I think that's unrealistic at this point in time. But if we can get that energy generated next year, we could have 100. Then we can move to 150. Things happen here on Walsh. We get people coming to the community events. That breeds on itself.
Okay, so the Chamber of Commerce is committed to helping North Canton citizens be informed.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a 501c3 organization that just was formed called the North Canton Community Growth Association. It's totally separate from the chamber. A lot of us serve on that board as well. But we're going to be rolling out a website for the city in the not too distant future. We have a lot of plans for that organization that's much more community focused, and some of that involves communication with the public. So I think as that particular organization grows and works again with the schools and with the city and the chamber, I think you're going to see some of these goals met.
Okay, well, thank you, Doug.
Thank you,
Lane,
Martin. I
head of
appreciate
the
it.
North Canton Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much.